My wife and I were sweethearts in high school. After we graduated in '46, my wife went to Virginia State College. Unfortunately, 2 years later, I went in the service. We kept in contact with each other, my wife and I came back. My wife convinced me, and I went back to school. I just felt the need to be involved with the place where I was living, and things were different that time, and they needed people to do community service type of things. I started working in the background with my wife, helping with projects, and she was a school teacher, of course. One of the first things she did, she started the Young Gifted Black Dance Troupe, and then she started the Frederick Pom Pom Group for kids 13 and younger. And my wife and I partnered that for 25 or 30 years. She made sure, along with me, that whenever something was going to happen in Frederick, like the parades and things like that, that we would have somebody represented from the black community. When you continue to have an impact on those kids' lives, they want me to know they're doing well. They come and tell me about how many kids they got and how the family's doing. The feeling I get when they come in and say, I remember Mr. Bernard when this, I remember Mr. Brown when this. That's the type of thing that keeps you motivated and keeps you going. I just love Frederick County, and I wanted to be a part of the community, and I want to grow with me for the rest of my life.
I came to Frederick in 1958 as a young soldier. After serving 2 years in the military, got discharged. One day I was downtown, ran into a gentleman by the name of Samuel Hamilton. Wanted to know if I wanted to get involved with the NAACP. Had very little, no knowledge of what the NAACP was all about. But when he explained to me what it was all about, I said yes, I'd be happy to be a part. Back then, the Klan was rampant in Frederick. They was always having rallies. Most of them was held just a short distance away. In fact, I could stand in my backyard and see that when they would ignite the cross and see the cross burning. So we filed suit against the county to stop them from issuing permits to the Klan to hold rallies. Of all of these 60 plus years that I've been involved in the civil rights movement, I can point to some of the changes that I have seen in Frederick and some of the things that I was a part of, and that's what kept me in the fight. So my call to young people all over the world was to get involved.
I never thought that I did anything so fantastic because I loved what I did and I enjoyed it. My aunt saw in the newspaper where they wanted a teacher aide. It was a teacher aide at Maryland School for the Deaf. She said, well, have you thought about anything like that? I said, no. She said, try it. It was something different. It's like its own little community. I worked with the children. I hardly thought about them being deaf, as long as I was teaching them in the way that they could understand me and learn. I loved exposing them to things, to doing things with them, to see them learning. I stayed for 28 years and never regretted hardly a minute of it. I loved them.
I love stepping on the campus and feeling part of that collegiate atmosphere and so many students from so many different places and having conversations with them about their experiences and helping them to be successful. One of the reasons I wanted to get into education, I was inspired by some of the teachers that I had in junior high school. There was a teacher that I had. He was a strong African male figure for me, and I said, I like the way he teaches, I like the way he looks at people, I like the way he talks, and so I want to be like him. It kind of riles me sometimes when people say, we need to be colorblind. It's totally the opposite. If you're colorblind, then you don't see the person. When you step on campus, your culture comes with you. You don't leave that behind. You don't become like everybody else. We need to see our students, see who they are, see where they came from, and help them achieve through that venue. The former superintendent of the state of Maryland insisted and made it a COMAR, all school districts in the state of Maryland, that we would develop diversity training for teachers so that they see that diversity is definitely race and ethnicity, but it's broader than that. It's economic diversity, learning diversity, and all of those aspects that our teachers see, our students see who they are, where they come from, what they need. We were the first to bring that concept for Frederick County school teachers. This program was a major highlight in my career because it touched so many people. That's just the best feeling in the world.
I think the more you can learn about your own history, the better you are. And I've always been fascinated in history. From as far back as I can remember, I wanted to learn more about my history, Frederick history. I said, I gotta do something. I have to do something because those that are coming behind me, they're gonna wanna know, well, what do I have here in Frederick? So that spurred me on to see that something needed to be done, and if I didn't do it, why not me? I thought if I did interviews with people from all different places in Frederick, I'd get an indication of how Frederick was way before I was born. And I told their story. It was so rewarding to me and so interesting. It's important for me to do as much as I can to bring Black history to life, not only because those people deserve it that have gone on. I don't want them ever to be forgotten. It's a history of not only one race, it's a history of all of us, the melting pot. I not only did it for myself, I did it for my brothers and sisters coming behind.
My students ask me all the time, how did I get started in the art field? And it started naturally as a kid in the first grade, just drawing. It's something that expresses myself. As I got older, I continued to draw. And then I realized that really it's the only thing that I did well. And I decided to go ahead and pursue that. My goal is to make our classroom a safe space where students can express themselves, because those areas are an area for self-expression, whether it's religious or sexuality or even political. It's not uncommon for those things to come into their artwork. One of the things that keeps me here as a teacher, I can be walking downtown Frederick and a former student will stop and say, you may not remember me. You inspired me to do my first exhibit. That's worth its weight in gold, to know that you've affected someone's life.
I was born and raised in Frederick. Funerals in Frederick would just kind of made you sad. We want something where we can celebrate lives, and when people come in our facility and they see what we have, and they're like, wow, I look like a mega church. That doesn't look like no funeral home. So our whole concept was we want to celebrate people's lives and what they did in their life, and that's what we changed it to Life Celebration Center.
We had people who kept coming to us saying, when we were building this, they would drive their children by and say, that's Black owned. And they see that this was created by someone who looks like them, and people are so proud. And I think it's a testament to what is possible for a little kid that grew up in Carver's and then on South Street to create in his hometown.
I am the third African-American funeral establishment in Frederick.
What makes Gary Rollins a unique individual? He puts people first.
Anybody in the community that comes to us and needs some help, we'll sit down and we'll talk to them. We'll help them out as much as we can.
Sometimes we have to try to pull him back from all that he wants to do. And he's always dreaming and creating new ideas to make it better for people.
I'd rather have helped someone as much as I could than to just turn my back on them and walk away.
Gary is a trailblazer. He's been a mortician for 40 years, but in business in Frederick for 30 years. And do you know what it takes to stay in business in one place in 30 years and to have that business grow? And the fact that he's taken it to the level that it is now, I'm just so proud of him and so proud to be beside him in this journey.